can shine together. We can all just fall apart. We can live, we can love, yes, we can spark. We can give, we can love, we can die together. The conversation, the separation, the overlooked $1 million violations. The time to forget, to hit reset. The time you'll forget about the presets. The whole nothing back, burn up your last sack. The picture hangs on the wall by a single tack. I live the life of love, I live the life I live. It's not a day, do it all again because...
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face-Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway. Takes 2
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
I never in my life thought I will have to send an Instagram to myself for a reference, but that's the way the world works these days. Don't know what that means, and we'll keep it that way. Welcome to Face-Off Hockey Show. Scotty Waz here, Johnny P there on the 1s and 2s, and Mark with a C over there. Gentlemen, welcome. Another week has come upon us.
Yes.
Now it's September, for Christ's sake.
That's
How
good.
about that? Yeah.
That means there's 8 more weeks of soccer.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yes.
Interesting. Perfect then. Well,
that's it. It seems like too few.
Yeah, it seems really quick actually.
Wait, how long is your wedding away? 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is the first weekend that I have off.
Oh, I thought you meant like, you know.
Well, I mean, then there'll be playoffs after that.
Okay.
Like the NCAA tournament and such, but like regular season ends in like 8 weeks.
Still seems really quick.
Yeah, it is, right?
Well, all good things must come to an end sooner or later, and apparently sooner is the key operative word here for Sucre season.
Well, I mean college soccer, obviously. College and high school. The EPL just started. That goes until next summer.
When's MLS then? Is that like almost Thanksgiving time?
Yeah.
American Thanksgiving for those out there scoring at home, or even if you're alone.
Yeah, not Canadian
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
not
That's
Halloween.
way too early.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Please, we have it before Halloween. Come on. We're craftier than that. Turkey before candy, brother.
Hey, that's true. At least you do it in the right order.
Exactly. Crazy bastards stuffing your turkeys with candy. Actually, that sounds really good.
What kind of candy do you think would go best inside a turkey? I mean, clearly you want to stuff the turkey after you put it in the oven, I'm guessing, right? I mean, because you put candy in the oven, it's not candy anymore. It's just chocolate.
It's just melted chocolate.
Yeah.
Unless you put candy corn in there.
Oh. Then it's just a melted glob of sugar.
Exactly. That's how I want my turkey.
I want to say that the melting point of what is it? What did you say? Candy corn. The melting point of candy corn is probably is probably approaching that of like steel.
It's very true.
I think it'll stay intact.
The amount of sugar will probably cancel out the tryptophan. That's all I'm saying. I have no scientific proof to back that up, but I'm pretty sure that'd be a possibility.
That would be like a candy glazed turkey.
Ooh.
What if you like put them on the outside of the turkey and then put it in the oven?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could put it on the outside of the turkey and then use the candy corn, the melted candy corn, to baste the and glaze the turkey.
What if you used like caramel on the outside of the turkey and then use that to affix candy corn to the outside of the turkey?
Oh, wow.
Wow, now we're next level stuff right now.
Yeah, this takes turducken to a completely new level.
Makes turducken look like a bitch. That's what it does. Let's not kid ourselves here, kids.
It's true.
What Mark is proposing here could change everything. Mostly the amount of diabetes in the U.S., but I still like how we're going about it. You know what? We need more research. Let's go get a government grant, because apparently you can get government grants for anything. And we can figure this whole thing out nice and quickly. What do you say? Who's with me? Who's coming with me? No?
Let's make
no?
it happen.
All right. Well, yeah, exactly. Let's do it. What else we got? What do we got to lose? Except a
Let's
lot
move
of
to
turkey.
Greece. They can pay us.
Greece.
Yeah.
We can take the government grant money and go ahead and just buy an island. So if we buy a Greek island with the money we get for government grants, we can essentially make turkeys on that island and put them and feed them candy corn. What if we feed the turkey candy corn beforehand? Hold on.
And then
If
it
you-
just sweats candy corn.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, the sugar seeps into the meat, you know?
And then that way we don't have to baste it with anything. It's self-basting.
And in
I like
Greece, in Greece, the temperature and the humidity is really not that high, but the temperature is pretty high. So there would be some good basting of turkeys, I think, with them running around.
See? See, now it's all coming together.
Are they going to be free range?
Obviously.
They have the entire range of the island that we've bought.
Because after you feed them the candy corn, they're going to have to make sure they keep moving, or else it's just going to settle, and that's not going to be good. You're gonna
That
have
makes
one,
you sick.
yeah,
You don't
exactly. You're gonna have one sugar spot, and it's just going to kill the turkey, and they're going to die of diabetes. So it's just not good. So, free-range turkey farm. Free-range turkey island. We'll call it Turkey. Pretty sure people will enjoy that.
That won't confuse anyone.
Nope.
Being so close to Greece, I mean.
Nope. Be fine. Be right there in the Mediterranean. We'd be okay. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry your pretty little heads about it. Shit. So, Johnny, you had a lot of turkey this weekend? Is that what I'm gathering? How
Yeah.
do you even get on this?
Is that what I'm gobbling?
I hate all of us.
So seriously though, lots of turkey?
I'm surprised people still listen.
No lie.
No, actually, I didn't have any turkey this weekend.
Fuck
I
is
had
wrong?
some. I had some Lido's pizza.
Hey, they don't cut quarters.
Nope, they do not. One of my games on Saturday actually got canceled because the visiting team didn't have enough healthy players to play the game. So that was fun.
What school was this so we can ridicule them?
I believe it was Delaware Community College.
Way to go, Wilmington. Way to go, Blue Hens, University of Delaware, a.k.a. Delaware Community College. Anyway.
Yep. So then that occurred, and
How often does that happen, Johnny? Like, I'm not
in the
a
beginning
soccer
of the
fan.
season for community college, it happens quite often.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically one of those things where, like, all of a sudden somebody has to work, or, you know, two of the kids, like, pull hamstrings or something because they didn't actually work out during the season, and they're like, yep, we don't have 11 players.
Fair enough, then.
But it's the concept, though, of it is hilarious, that the game could be canceled because one of the teams doesn't have enough players.
Yeah, enough
it
healthy
almost-
players.
It just it makes you scratch your head, like, how is this something that happens in college soccer? And like, oh, it's a community college. Got it. Check.
Yep.
Nice.
So, and then I have 4 games this weekend.
Woo!
Good luck Labor Day weekend. Woohoo.
Man, oh man. Get to work Monday?
No, actually, I don't.
Well, hey, look at you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was pretty much my week. I finished staining my deck.
Hey, another
Well played.
fun thing.
Thanks.
Nice.
How many times did you have to go over the same spot?
I made sure that there were 2 coats on my deck.
Perfect.
Yeah. So.
You always want to have it nice and protected.
Yeah, once at night and once in the morning.
Mhm.
I mean,
Nope. It's good.
no, that's probably it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and outside of that, it was pretty much soccer and, yes, soccer and deck staining.
Wow. It's like an Italian country song.
That might be. It might be Azori grass.
The hell did you just call me?
It's like bluegrass, but it's just Italian.
I get it now. That's good. I get it.
See?
I like what we're doing here.
That wasn't bad, right? I don't know the Italian word for grass, but
No, it's perfect. I like where we're going with this.
yeah.
When we get this Turkey Island, it's going to be perfect.
Well, I mean,
we play very well in the Mediterranean.
yeah,
Yes.
we need to know Italian in order to talk to some of the locals, Italian and Greek, and then Turkey Island will be ready to go.
It's easy. A pasta pizza. That's all you have to say. A pasta pizza.
And talk
Not a
with your
pasta
hands, right?
pizza.
Boobity-bop,
Pasta pizza
boobity-bop.
ravioli. Just start naming just types of noodles. Fettuccine. And then
Spaghetti.
16 people come walking up to you because their name's Fettuccine.
I don't think that they actually
Hmm?
name anyone fettuccine. I don't think that's
What?
right. I have to check on that. I'll have to ask some sources that I have, but I don't think that actually ever happens.
Well, hey, agree to disagree then. We'll move on as a people, I suppose. Well, Johnny, if that was your week and weekend, we have 2 weeks to catch on with Mark with a C because we went on a Newman tirade last week.
That's true. That is true. Mark and Scotty, both of you guys got cut off last week when I started talking about Newman.
I can't
Well,
even
just-
remember what I did like
2
3
days
days
ago.
ago,
Yeah.
let alone last week. Last week is.
I think
ancient
last
history.
week weren't you up in New Hampshire?
Yes, we were driving back and forth to New Hampshire for a wedding shower, which was fun. I got to see real life Tonka trucks in action.
What?
Yeah. So they would take salt, like there were boats that go out into the ocean from New Hampshire, and
Okay.
take salt out of the water, and then they wind up with big piles of salt on this boat, and then they bring the boat back, and then like they have a big crane, like one of those cranes that's in a teddy bear machine,
Okay,
goes
yeah,
down
like a
and
claw.
clamps, a claw, but a claw with like shovels. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more like a salad spoon.
Like the candy ones. The candy when you go down and you pick up a whole bunch of candy.
Okay, yeah.
So it picks up a bunch of the salt, and then it puts it onto dry land, and then like literally things that look like Tonka trucks pick it up and put it into piles. So it's kind of wild.
It's
It's
pretty dope.
entertaining.
Is the ocean okay with people from New Hampshire stealing its salt?
That's what I was also saying.
There's plenty. There's plenty of salt in there, and people love the sea salt.
I don't know. We said that about the panther, and now they're almost extinct. There's enough of them.
And glaciers.
Well, the nice thing is we produce our own salt, right? So just, if anything ever happens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lick myself. I'm not gonna sweat myself and lick just to have salt in my body.
Why not?
I don't think we produce our own salt, do we?
You just sweat out the salt that you eat. I thought we just. Well, my point is we recycle. That's what my point.
Yes, you're right. We do recycle salt.
I don't know. I just throw it in the trash. Guy who doesn't get the concept of what we're talking about.
You're supposed to throw it over your shoulder.
It's like the sumos do.
Yes.
It's messed up, man.
I know. They're just throwing salt everywhere. It's really weird. Crazy bastards. Anyway, so yeah, New Hampshire was nice. That's good.
Beyond that, this past weekend I had a couple fantasy football drafts. It's about that time of year again.
Ba, 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 ba.
Oh, that
And-
reminds me. I have to set our fantasy league to draft this weekend.
That might be good.
Yeah, somebody asked the question, and I guess they didn't realize that we usually auto draft. So,
Oh, we're auto drafting. That's for damn sure.
all right then.
Yeah, essentially I always auto draft. So all the drafts happen when I'm sleeping. Like I don't feel like waking up for this bullshit. You guys,
But yeah, so my teams are gonna win, both of them.
that's good.
Other than that, like nothing too crazy. My life's boring. How about you, Scotty?
Yeah, I've done nothing. So that's the show, everybody. Thanks for what? Still got time? Fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, here's how boring my life is. I didn't go out last Friday. I decided first of the month, make sure I got rent money instead of partying away at Mr. Mike's
It's the
Cash.
first of the month.
Exactly. It's like Bone Thugs and Harmony. So what did I do Friday? Like, all right, got a whole night ahead of me. Kiddo just left. It's a good time. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna gear up. I'm gonna do some research, work on some projects I got going. I fell asleep at 8:30.
Nice. Attaboy.
Then woke up at 2 a.m. Just like, well, fuck. This was garbage. Wasted night again. Yeah, and that was about it.
Nights where you accomplish things are overrated anyway.
I guess. I work overnights too, so I accomplish most things at night. Ladies. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I said it like that. Shopping for Kiddo's birthday. That's next week. Jesus fuck.
Wow, how old is she?
It's gonna be 9.
What?
Yeah, she's been born 9 times.
I don't think that's how that works.
What? Okay, well, I've got to It's gonna have a Ferris Bueller theme party, but I guess that's out the window now. Yeah, no, she just entered 4th grade today, yesterday.
What do you learn? What kind of things do you learn in 4th grade these days?
Oh God.
Because you don't know. I mean, cursive is out the window, right?
I think so. Cursive is done. I don't know. They learn geography. We'll find out what we learn because Johnny's off air.
Did she? Yeah, that's not good. Did she? Does she know where Glen Burnie, Maryland is?
No,
On a map.
She knows where Baltimore is
That's good.
because we play Baltimoreopoly. So that's always good.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's like an old school thing from like '97. Like it's still called Raven Stadium. It's not even called like PSI Net or anything like that.
It's not PSI Net anymore.
No, but
It's
back
now
in the day,
M&T Bank.
yeah, I know, but it would have been called PSI at that time frame. That's how
Well, they
far back
probably
I'm
didn't
going.
get the rights to call it PSI Net.
Yeah, true,
You know?
but they have McCormick. They have McCormick Spices. That's a copyright. You know, I don't know. Who am I to say? But yeah, no, I don't know what else you'd learn in 4th grade. I guess division, multiplication.
Yeah,
learn
I
that.
guess multiplication trees probably around that time.
Mm.
Yeah, now's the time when Naylor. I mean, you gotta start reaching back into
Debits and credits.
that old bag of tricks and see what Naylor's got going on that you can teach.
Christ, obviously building your own computer. That's one of them. That's the
Yeah.
fun thing we learned from Jerry Naylor.
Well, he doesn't even know how to do that apparently. So
Fair enough. But he enlightens us to go do it ourselves. So
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to even think back to 4th grade. What the hell happened then? I don't even remember 4th grade for Christ's sake. She seems excited, so I guess it's okay.
yeah, well that's good.
Right.
Making friends.
Yeah, well, she is. She's like, I got enough friends already. I'm like, you're 9. You don't. Like, granted, I had most of my friends that I still have now by then, but yeah, it's fun. I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, by the time I was 9, like a majority of the friends that I have now, like literally 50%, I still have around. Kevin, Ryan, and G Money, and then we got you and Johnny who came high school age. So yeah, those times are fun. Johnny seemingly is back, visually back.
Hi.
Little connectivity issue that I seen.
No, Google decided that it didn't want Firefox to work anymore, so Firefox stopped working.
Sons of bitches. Every time, if it means anything, we stayed live. So I don't know if it.
That's good.
It's because I have taken over Face Off Hockey Show. I am now in charge.
It still has you as Mark. That's weird.
Well, I get to, I can now tomorrow night download the audio from the show and put it on iTunes.
Oh wait, it shows me as Mark, really?
Yeah.
I'm always face. I thought I always logged in as Face Off Hockey Show doing.
I thought you did too.
You're Mark.
Yeah, you're Mark. How about that? How about that?
So I missed everything. All I heard was that Keg has been born 9 times, and then everything went blank.
Yeah, no, I was talking about how she's going into 4th grade, and then we're trying to figure out what the hell happens in 4th grade.
I think that's when you start learning algebra, right?
I think it's too soon for the
That's
algebra.
right. So maybe for you, smartass. Not for
Too soon for algebra.
Not for the Wazalewski ilk. We barely got through algebra. I think we touched on algebra. The first time we touched on that was like high school, maybe. Pre-algebra, like not 8th grade, I think. I don't even know. I'm freaking out. I gotta text my mom. Still works at the school, the middle school I went to. I'll just text her, say, "Hey, what the hell did we learn in 8th grade?" It's like, I don't know. I teach 2nd and 3rd. Get the hell out of here. Well, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. But yeah, other than that, that's been pretty much the only thing going on. Falling asleep at 8:30 on a Friday.
That sounds pretty normal to me.
Yeah, no, not to me. I'm just like I'm waking up at 8:30 after a little quick nap, turning around, heading up to Airdrie. And yeah, not last week. Not last week. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna work on the book I'm thinking of doing. Nope, sleep. Jen was even away. She was at a Def Leppard concert in 2015.
How did that go?
She loved it. She had a great time. It was Def Leppard, Styx, and Tesla. So, Def Leppard, Styx.
I don't think I know any Tesla songs.
They make great cars.
They do. Fantastic.
I heard their performance was shocking.
That's good stuff.
Lightning jokes. Hilarious. Yeah, that's about my week, man. Back to school, so my work is picking up there at the Safwi. Oh, and I'm also putting together audio stuff and thinking of audio ideas for audio stuff. For Audio Slave. I'm gonna be a slave to audio. Chris Cornell's
how did your demo go?
I think after an hour and almost elbow dropping my computer, it went really well. I haven't heard back from Todd P. Butts, who is the Sherpa of this journey. But it's his birthday. It was his birthday yesterday. It was his birthday. He turned 1 year old. I know how old he turned, and I don't think he wants anyone to know.
That's all right.
So,
Is he 36?
It's his Jocelyn Tebow birthday.
Okay.
So,
you have to do work to find out.
Close, 90. Wait, no, that's not close at all. You just have to go to hockeyreference.com to figure that one out, everybody.
Are they paying us? They better be paying us.
Huh? Probably. Isn't everyone paying us, though? With their time and eyes?
Totally.
If you want to pay us, email faceoffhockeyshow@gmail.com or click the button here. I don't know if there's anything here. We'll put it in post, and then you can donate to us. Or just
the GoFundMe page.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you know what? I don't give a shit anymore. I haven't given a shit for years, so here's this.
We don't care, and it shows.
We don't care, and it shows, and we're our own bosses, so try to fire us. All right. There's a website out there, or a proposed website, on the basis of women's sports. It's great, good for them, awesome. I'm glad it's getting coverage. We finally get women's hockey, WNBA, women's soccer, a lot of stuff out there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. But when you start a venture like this, you don't expect to be paid off the bat, correct? Like, this is a venture, a labor of love when you do this kind of blogging, correct? In an independence situation.
This is
right
a
on
blogging site?
It's a blogging venture.
Okay.
I've never done this, but I would expect that you'd have to prove that you are capable of covering sports, in particular sports that aren't necessarily very popular at the moment, well enough that people want to come to visit your site in order to be paid for such a thing.
Okay. So for me to think that them going and establishing a GoFundMe account for people to pay them in order to pay the writers is a bit absurd. Like, is that far-fetched of me to do?
Well, let's be honest. You can fund anything at this point.
No, I
Like-
understand that, but I just mean the mere concept of it.
You mean, is it a little preposterous that that's what they would go to?
Is it outlandish that you set up a GoFundMe account for a site that, I guess, for all intents and purposes, is unfunded because they don't have sponsorships or things like that? I mean,
I believe that the thought of it seems outlandish, but I also believe, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right? Like, because there's going to be somebody who's like, yeah, I want more women's sports. Here's $10, or $1. If you get $1 from all of your listeners, then you can get hold on.
your car broken into and then T-shirt stolen.
Ah, shit. That's right.
That old gag.
That fell flat. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing.
I think my thing, the thing that irks me about this when I see this is the fact that when you start a venture like this, you're going to have hiccups, but you can't expect to pay the people who are contributing to your site automatically. In terms of if you're writing for this, you shouldn't expect to get a payment of it, nor as you, an editor of this, expect to pay or have anybody expect you to pay you for writing articles. Does that make sense? Like in
Do
terms
you get
of
paid?
No, I don't.
And you've been doing this for years. And you're doing it well.
Like LL Cool J. Represent Queens. I was raised up in Brooklyn. I mean, you know.
Doing it.
So
Exactly.
I think we should start a GoFundMe page for Scotty
I think, yeah, I agree.
and his writing.
Let's make it happen. Let's do it.
We could set up a rival GoFundMe page.
Exactly. Go fund me for bullshit minor league hockey.
We can start like Turf Wars.
There we go. I mean, the thing that I don't know, it gets to me because of the fact, like, all right, we're starting a new blog, give us money. That's, I guess, is a little bit, I don't know. It strikes a chord, obviously.
What is the age group of the people that have started this?
I'm assuming early 20s.
Because that has
Early
something to do
mid-20s.
with it too.
Oh, I'm sure. The entitlement?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Making sure we're all on the same page.
I mean,
here.
I see high school and college kids every single year, and every single year it becomes more and more of an entitled group of children.
Yep.
Even at that age.
Yeah, and this is especially when it comes to people like, oh, you should get paid. Like we had a conversation with Brian Metzer at the draft about.
I don't remember any of this.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I had a conversation with Brian Metzer at the draft. Johnny was just hanging there about just like the contributions you give to a website and at what means do you.
Oh, I do remember this. This was in the airport. I was not drunk.
Yeah, no. This is something that was there.
Yeah, I remember this.
At
This
what?
is
At
like
what?
you taking photographs for free.
Exactly, and it's just like, yeah, but you're getting the exposure, And there comes a point in time where you start off something like that, and yeah, it's good, but there's times where it's just like, okay, well, I'm putting time into this. What is, outside of exposure, what else am I gaining out of this? Because there's only so much exposure can go. And like for writers who have been, or for bloggers who have been doing this for a while, you know, you have the exposure, you have the audience you have right there. But if you're starting something anew and then you're immediately thinking you're entitled to get some kind of profit from it, or if you're an editor and promising your writers, hey, we're going to pay you right off the bat, I don't know. I think it's a venture, while people are going to have a demand for it, is something that could cause a lot more problems than it does solutions, and could actually be detrimental to the situation. Because if you prove your worth by your writing and your content and things like that, I would think there's enough sponsorship dollars out there to come calling to you that you don't have to come calling out to people to read it. So because basically what people are contributing to is a subscription-based website. For all intents and purposes, you're subscribing to a blog by giving them money. I think that's a little weird. I don't know. It's almost a hockey buzz situation. Unless it's a microcosm for things in general, where it's a parallel and it's a sociological experiment to see how much people give money to a situation that a niche of a niche. That'd be great. I'm just like, wow, that's a good sociological experiment we just had there. And I'd laugh this whole thing off and we'd edit this whole thing out. So yeah, I don't know. You mentioned GoFundMe and that popped up in my brain. I'm like, that's kind of weird that they're doing it this way, but whatever. I guess Godspeed to them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just one guy who's been writing for years, and I think
you
I've
can
seen
fund anything now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, we should fund the Big Stand Invitational in Buffalo. By the way, breaking news: Big Stand Invitational Part 2 happened in Buffalo.
Nice.
We stupidly, me and Jen had been discussing this, and it just happened to come out. And like last week, we're like, all right, let's do it in Buffalo.
So is the Cosmic Bowl a real thought? Because Mark's shoes will look fantastic under blue.
Oh yeah.
The Cosmic Bowl, I think, is the only way we do this. We do this Saturday night. You know how Saturday night we just do the regular bullshit? Guess what? Big Stand Invitational Saturday night after the show. Get a bite to eat. Get ourselves some bowling alley. There's a bowling alley that's open to 4 a.m. So we can just drink.
This would be fantastic.
Yep, we just go there and we just drink. And just drink till 4 a.m. and then we drive out to the airport to catch our flights.
Well, hopefully we don't drive there after we've been drinking until 4 o'clock in the morning, but yes,
I'm sure they cut us off at 2 and we have a nice little couple hours to sober up and away we go.
That's fine, yeah. I like this, and I cannot imagine how amazing those white shoes are going to look.
I can, and it's going to be awesome.
Mark puts a black light to it every night. He's just like, well, then guys, could have been if we did this on a weekend. By the way, Johnny, have you sent out your invitations yet?
For the league?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it before the show.
Okay, good.
I forgot that I had to look at the
the sheets.
Yeah. Well, no, what it really was that you sent the sheet out, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's got to be weeks before anything gets filled in. And then earlier in the week, I was like, I should look at here. And I'm like, shit, I got 8 players already? What the hell? It's a month away.
Yeah. Well, hell, Mark's league was almost the first day he had like 9.
Yeah. People want to draft during the show.
Yeah, it's the best. I also asked one because Angry Ginger was asking me.
Which
So,
Angry Ginger?
We only know the one Angry Ginger.
Oh, yeah, I sent it to him tonight.
Big Limes. He's just like,
He wasn't allowed to talk to me? Is that what it was?
Well, he didn't.
To that point where he speaks through my agent?
He didn't know which league he was in, because I didn't tell him which one he was in. I just put people in leagues and they find out. He's like, well, it's a good thing I'm not in Mark's league because fuck Mark. Like, wow, Jesus, Sean.
He is still bitter about
He is
My
very
God.
bitter. See, I think that's a grudge match at the Big Stand Invitational when we go one-on-ones.
Which, so wait, what is he upset at me about again? I can't remember.
I think a
I
couple.
have so much beef. It's just, I can't keep track of it all.
Shit, man, you're like Drake. You're
I
even
have
in a
2
wheelchair.
teams in my league now. Oh, yeah.
Hey. I think it's because A, you didn't come to Florida, hang out, and have fun with us, and that's the only time he gets to see you. B, you're getting married because it's going to put pressure on him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
C, now you can't buy a big TV because you're getting married.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's a baby thing. There's a lot of logistics.
Because the baby was going to give him some time, but then you're getting married, so now he thinks that he might have to get married.
Oh.
And because you're getting married and everyone around him is getting married, he can't buy a big TV because he's going to have to buy an engagement ring.
Who knew there were so many ripples?
Oh, dude, he is. You want to talk
He
about
was
a guy?
heated in Florida. He was heated.
You want to talk about a guy who's salty?
Yeah.
That's a salty man.
There's the salty guy.
Holy Jesus. But you know what? I can't disagree with him on any of those points. Fuck Mark.
Actually, right now, Mark's the only reason we are still live, right?
That's kind of well, no, because he was under his own name.
Oh.
So we don't even know if that whole thing. We had a whole thing about Glenn Burney and what Katie's gonna learn in Baltimoreopoly.
I'm sure it's in there still.
That's fine.
Everything's fine. And if not, fuck it. People didn't miss much. Anyway. So yeah, those are things that happen. But yeah, that whole thing with the blogging asking for money, I just struck a chord with, man. That was, I don't know. Prove your like I was even talking to Jen about this, and she's like, yeah, no, that's not something people usually do. It should be prove your worth and then we'll give you money, not give us money first and then maybe we'll do something. So I don't even know, how do these Kickstarter, GoFundMe things work?
Is it an entirely women-run blog talking about women's sports?
I think so.
Interesting.
That's something that's been done before.
You mean by ESPNW?
No, there was an independent one. I can't remember of who. And it's bugging me. I think it was called Eris Sports. I'm just like, that's pretty cool. It's an idea. So,
Eris T. Allen?
Eris T. Allen. It's Boulevard in Annapolis. Trying to find this fucking thing, and I can't find it at all. Oh, well, whatever. I'll find it sooner or later. There's a lot of GoFundMe accounts when you put women's hockey in here.
Speaking of GoFundMe, though, and a really good cause is the University of Maryland's women's hockey team.
Yes, sir. They need some funds. They need some funds for their fun, as it were. Apparently, there's some fees that have gone up, or their funding got cut drastically. I really don't know.
What I read was that the funding that they get from the school got cut drastically, which means that all the players would have to pay a lot more in order to play, because it's just a club team, so it's not like fully funded by the school or anything like that. The team has to actually pay to play on the club teams.
Indeed, and as of right now, they have themselves they're a little, not even 20% to their goal. They want to get $5,000 for the year. They got about 735, 13 donations. A lot of people sharing it though, man, but we'll see how it goes. You want to go there, just go to GoFundMe.com and look up UMD Women's Hockey. And then away you go. So, there you go. Let me see if I can find. Now that I'm on the page that I need to go to, I can probably find this other thing that I was talking about. Scroll. Anyway, by the way, do you guys, how often do, I found it, here we go. Oh, it's Indiegogo. That's where I was going wrong. Oopsie. Alright, so it's called, Victory Press. They're funding, they've already reached their funding goal, so good for them. Victory Press is going to be a real involving news outlet about women's sports, blah, 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 blah. I plan to build a site that publishes regular dedicated women's sports coverage, compensates its writers for the many hours of original reporting that goes into covering women's sports since the other news outlets do not provide this. Blah, blah, blah. So they wanted 4,000, they got it, so good for them. I don't know. Need to cover unlimited hosting, domain name fees, fees for Google Apps for businesses, monthly stipend.
Running their email through that, maybe?
Maybe. Monthly stipend to the small group of staff writers. Funds to pay writers who contribute on a non-regular basis.
$4,000 gets them like a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. So apparently it's $100 for the first year of. All right. So here's how they can cover unlimited hosting through Ghost.org. $100 for the first year, and cost goes up. So that's paid for out of pocket. Domain name register, $15 a year. Fees for Google Apps for staff writers, so that's $5 per user per month. So then staff writers will have their own inboxes. Monthly stipend of a small group of writers, about $200 per month per writer during the hockey season for the first years of operation. So, trying to do math. Funds paid to writers so between $25 and $60 per article, depending on length and time spent writing for guest writers. Funds paid to photographers and artists for rights to use their photo and work. Johnny, what's compensation in terms of that? Would you say?
By photo?
By photo, yeah.
It can't be too much.
Okay.
Like $5-10. $5
Fair enough.
maybe a photo.
A pool of funding to help writers cover expenses for, I guess, on-location reporting. Compensation.
Like
Yeah, I know, right? You could probably pull that as well. I'm surprised that's not on there for internet stuff for whether it's ESPNU or any other kind of streaming service. Compensation for business manager who will be supervising the finances, and additional fees in terms of running a business. So, good for them. Good for them. You start a blog, you get enough people behind it, and you get $4,700 in 5 days. How about that?
How about that?
Is there any? So this is what I always wonder about the whole like crowdsourcing
First off,
phenomenon. Like, is there any guarantee that this is what they have to spend their money on? Like, there's no, you don't. The people putting the page up don't like have a contract with the people giving them money that says if we don't spend your money this way, then there's nothing
no
they
way
can do
to tell
about it.
either.
So I can just come up with a really good idea that sounds like it would be awesome, and then take like $100,000 and go to Mexico.
Yeah, I mean that's also another thing about crowdfunding. That's, I don't know. There's no contract not only to the people that's funding you, but it's also there's no contract between you and the crowdsourcing of your choice, right? So, not Indiegogo Go. It's not. I'm going to start calling it that now. By the way, instead of Indiegogo, it's Indiegogo.
Roll the dice and take your chances with it, I guess.
Essentially, what you've been blogging for years, as have I.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this project in its merit, on the surface, great idea. No problematic about it. The way of going about it and their business layout, thoughts and ideas on this, because this is where it kind of hit a nerve with me. I don't know how your thoughts about this. You've been on a higher precipice, a higher plateau, plane, whatever kind of flat surface you want to talk about. You've been on it higher.
Desperately clinging to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like me, clinging to mediocrity for me. I'm just hanging there.
Yeah, just desperately hanging on and looking up at people like our buddy Wyszynski, who's made it to the summit.
Who's sitting there in his chaise lounge in his pile of money.
Yeah, it is pile of Yahoo Puck Daddy dollars.
Exactly.
But we're not envious. Yes, but we're not envious or bitter.
Oh, heaven! No.
Heavens no.
I'm proud of someone like you.
No, honestly, yeah.
I'm kind of bitter.
A better guy.
I am kind of bitter.
Hey, he earned it, my friend.
Better him than Sean Leahy. Fuck Sean Leahy.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, when you can't even tell the P-boys apart, man, you do not. No, you do not.
Actually, no, that's 85% of the demographic live.
Yeah.
So you know what? He's in the majority.
You know what? I gotta say,
Yeah.
John, if you got an issue, buy a title belt and we can fight about it when we get to Buffalo. All right, use that Yahoo money of yours and go buy a title belt.
If you can rolling in that bed of Yahoo money.
Yeah. He's got
No, you know what, Mark?
I think we already saw that picture, didn't we? The Mike Commodore picture. It'd be pretty close to that, right?
That's true, but
yeah.
Mark, you fucked that dream over because now he has to get married because of you. You didn't buy him any time, so you could use that money for a wedding. God.
Yeah, he can't buy a championship belt.
Yeah.
No. Heavens no. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting premise, Scotty. I mean, talking about sort of old-fashioned ways, which in the blogosphere was like a decade ago, basically, when I really started getting in on this. I mean, my first paychecks didn't even come from my site. I mean, I didn't even make any money. I wasn't making any money from my site until about 10 years ago. And that was through advertisements. Not with there was no such thing as crowdsourcing. I mean, you could, you threw up a PayPal link once in a while to give people a choice if they wanted to click ads or contribute to your site through PayPal. And I had the PayPal link up for maybe all of a year, and I think I made a grand total of $50 from donations that way. I know there's other sites like Paul Kukla over at Kukla's Corner. I think he's made out better via the donation route than I did, but I just found that advertising from my site was a better way to go. I mean, but as I said, I mean, in my early days, any money that I earned came from outside sources. From my gig with Fox Sports, going all the way back to when I started out on AOL way back in the day at the turn of this century, where basically I wrote an article a week for them and they gave me free AOL. So,
it's not a bad deal, actually.
Actually, back then it wasn't. I mean, it was pretty sweet. I mean, $24.95. Hey, I didn't have to pay $24.95 a month, and I could be on AOL Unlimited all I wanted.
Perfect.
Which was kind of a neat. That was what technically you could call that my first paid gig, if you will. So,
man, all those chat rooms, Lyle, I can only imagine.
Oh, it was sweet. Let me tell you, all those chat rooms, and I just stayed in the hockey message forums.
Well,
the hockey
better that way. You don't want to wind up like Jared.
No, oh God. Yeah. Where's your foot long now, Jared?
Right in his bum. Anyway.
Yeah. Sick bastard. Yeah.
So anyway,
but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting it's an interesting way of going about doing things. But as you said, I mean, there's no real way that people who are contributing via crowdsourcing that you're really going to get any guarantee of any sort of payback, if you will, for your money, any kind of reasonable product for your money. Now, in most cases, it does work out. I've heard a lot of good things about people who've gone a crowdsourcing route for a number of things, be it getting albums off the ground, to starting a movie, to shooting a TV pilot, to what have you, to starting up websites and that sort of thing. But there is kind of I think a measure of trust that has to be there as well. That it's going to be worthwhile, and that. And how long are you going to be able to keep this going? Are you going to be relying on crowdsourcing solely as your primary means of not only just starting up your site but maintaining it to keep your operating costs going? And that includes, obviously, but from what I heard of what you were talking about, because I only just came into the thing sort of right in the middle of the discussion, but they're going to be using this money, I guess, to pay for writers, that sort of thing. That's what they're looking at, as well as the site maintenance.
Yeah, let me actually go back to it. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run it back down again because there's not too much to talk about. So what they're going to do, unlimited hosting through a blogging platform, which is $100 the first year and then goes up dependent upon page views. Domain name fee, fees for Google Apps for businesses for dedicated email addresses, monthly stipend to the staff writers, so $200 per month per writer. Funds go for guest contributors, $25 and $60 depending on article and length and whatever.
Hold on. $200 a month
per month per writer for their staff of writers. I don't know how many.
So how many writers do they have?
As of right now, I only know of one person.
Okay, because that could be, if you had 5 people, that's $5,000. That's $1,000 a month.
Right.
So they just bought themselves 3 months.
And let me tell you, that's a pretty low rate for freelancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely on the low end for freelancing. Just from my own experience, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Funds to pay for photographers and artists for the rights to use their pictures and work. Pool of funding to cover writers' expenses in terms of if they go to cover a game. Or an event. Compensation for the business manager who is supervising the finances and any additional fees related to running and registering a business.
Do they say what's their grand total that they're looking for here?
Well,
there's usually a target that they
they targeted at $4,000. They're over that. So
Oh
he
my,
made,
Jesus! They're operating this on a shoestring.
yeah.
You know, for the size of this venture, I mean, even by running it on a shoestring budget here, which obviously sounds like what they're attempting to do, you're going to need more than $4,000 for all those costs. I mean, hell, that's just covering your first month. I mean, you're talking $4,000 a month for this ambitious project that they're looking at doing. And I mean, and I'm not saying that it's ridiculously stupid or anything like that, that it's grandiose, but you know, it is sort of ambitious along the lines of what it sounds to me that they're trying to do. I mean, I'm not dismissing it or poo-pooing it, but I'm just saying you're going to need more than $4,000, dude. I mean, that's, you know, I think that's going to be at least bare bones minimum your operating cost per month, judging by what you want to do.
They got 55 days left in this thing. They've already funded the 4,000, which was their first gold. So they'll receive all their funds, which is good. But yeah, it's just like, where does the line draw? And if you do crowdsourcing each and every month, why not just make it a subscription-based website at that point?
Yeah, and I mean, are you going to be looking at advertisements to you know, to supplement the income as well?
You would have to hope.
I would hope so. I mean, you know, that or don't, or like you said, yeah, if you're going to rely on donations, i.e. via crowdsourcing or PayPal or what have you, then yeah, it becomes, as you said, a subscription-based site. And that gets tricky because, as I've discovered, you know, the hard way over the years, folks prefer if they can have the content, you know, if not for free, which of course they obviously prefer, but you know, if all it's going to cost them is just click a link to an ad, you know, they would much rather do that than actually pay out of pocket. Again, that's why I don't do PayPal donation. I don't go the donation route anymore, because I just found it just wasn't paying out. People would much rather, I mean, as much as sometimes people would complain about the ads on my site, and I know, yes, my site is ad heavy, but it's not because I'm a greedy bastard, it's because it costs money to be able to do what I'm doing. And in order to do that, I have to have advertising on my site. It's the only way that makes it worthwhile. And so if people are willing to click the ads, you know, it helps keep me going. And so yeah, it's been worthwhile that way. It's been down over the years, but that's not because people aren't clicking the ads. It's because, you know, the rate of ad revenue, it fluctuates year by year, you know. So it can be up one year, down the next. You don't know. It's a wonderful roller coaster to ride, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the price you pay to be self-employed. You know, enjoy pay the ticket, take the ride, gentlemen. Woo.
Well, it's almost one of those things where it's just like, maybe in my mind I've thought about, like, for this show, putting up a show on iTunes as a specialty show, and we charge what, $2.99 or whatever it is. But I'm just like, how much do people really want the show that they'll pay for it, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, how much would people want the content to pay for it?
The best way, if you were going to kind of go that route, would be keeping it up on Yahoo, and if you could generate enough page views that then you can get into at Yahoo's, you know, sort of lucrative advertising. But even then, I mean, that's going to depend on the amount of views you get. And it sounds great when you think, hey, geez, you know, if $2.99 a pop, if 2,000 people listen to the show, that's da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it sounds great. The reality is often, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but the reality more often than not is,
it's not profitable, because you got to figure Apple takes their cut. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they take, for a $2.99 show, I think I heard they take like something like half of it almost.
Yeah, well, even like I said, even through Yahoo, same thing. I mean, Yahoo's going to take their cut. Yeah. And other people take their cut. I mean, it's interesting, because I was reading about this about I think a month ago, about some of this handful of folks who make a lot of money via Yahoo with their videos, like that guy PewDiePie who does the videos.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I know. But he's the Swedish guy who does the running commentary to video games.
Oh, there's like a dime a dozen of those guys.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's apparently the upper echelon at the top of the mountain as far as they go. Apparently, he makes millions of dollars. But they revealed that he supposedly made, I think the figure was around $10 million. But once you take away all the fees, taxes, and everything else, it actually worked out to be $2 million. There was another one, an even better example, a young lady who does like fashion, just does fashion tips, and it took off. It was hugely popular. And I think if the figure's correct, they said that she made last year something like just over $2 million, again, which sounds great, but after fees, deductions, taxes, and everything else, it actually worked out to be a few $100,000. Now, again, good money, but just imagine, as you said,
get their cut.
As you keep dropping down in the metal, like, okay, let's say somebody makes, you made $50,000 a year through your Yahoo stuff. Well, yeah, after their cut is done, yeah, you might see, if you're lucky, 20 grand when it's all said and done. So, again.
We should try this out, boys. Find a way we could get a goddamn crowdfunding thing going.
Crowdfunding might be a better way to go, actually, to get something up. Yeah, if you could get something up and running that way. But again, it's something that's got to be, it's got to have a lot of pop.
We just have to post something like, "Hey, this is Face Off Hockey Show. This is our GoFundMe page. We're just asking for 14 years worth of back money for all of the work that we've already done."
14 years of back pay.
So I've seen you been listening for 14 years, boy, and it's time to pay the piper.
Time to pay. Now you're lucky because our weekly guest, Lyle Richardson, will not take a fee. He will take.
Because we have not told him of this project.
But, no. But instead of money, he will take Macallan Scotch in lieu of money.
Nice. I have Glen 15, one of the Glens.
I have lovely.
I think Glen will do.
I think that
I have actually I have a very fine blend, Monkey Shoulder, thanks to my wife.
Ooh,
nice.
Lovely. Oh yeah,
Nice.
the finest blend, close next to the 21 Royal Salute from Chivas that I got on my military retirement. That one was
Nice.
super too.
we should just undercut and just ask for 50 cents a show from every one of our listeners.
I think that's fair. Wait a minute.
That's $25 a listener per year times 14 years.
I think we could retire.
Yeah.
That's actually not too bad.
It's actually, when you think about it, it's not that bad at all.
Yeah, you could actually retire if this was the 1920s.
Wait, it's not?
I'm not good at math.
Yet.
So
I
that's,
don't know.
that would be $350 a listener.
Mhm.
Time
say
to crank up the controller.
We average 35,000 listeners a year. Well, 35,000 listens. That is $12.25 million.
Fuck, what are we still doing here, boys? Why are we not making this dope?
Action this yesterday.
And we should just go to everyone in the league. Listen, guys, there's a league fee, depending upon how long you've listened.
A league fee.
Yeah.
We'll make our money one way or another.
I say if we can find a way to fund a Buffalo trip, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I also don't even know how much GoFundMe gets or any of these crowdsourcing
No,
things
I know.
get.
You have to look into
Like,
it. Yeah.
what kind of cut
I
do
mean,
they get?
I've heard a lot of good stories about it, but I'm sure there's some.
I've heard a lot of
disappointments
good
as well.
stories, but mostly through music. Like
Yeah.
like for blogging or for like the University of Maryland women's team,
Mhm.
or books or TV shows or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to quantify or qualify how much they get out of it and how much needs to be put into it.
Mm.
So I mean, who knows how much cut the websites get for hosting it? But hey,
a lot
listen,
of distribution of funds, that's for sure.
and if Veronica Mars can get a goddamn movie through the goddamn crowdsourcing,
Yeah,
If Super Troopers 2 can get crowdsourced, all right?
That's
Veronica
true.
Mars, at least, like, whoever watched that show probably had a steady job. Like, Super Troopers 2 wound up getting crowdsourced, and I was one of the
True.
people who, by the way, funded that movie. I wanna see it.
hey,
It looks awesome.
What did you get at? Like what kind of tier? Like, because you also have a tier system too, so it's also trying to figure out. Or at least I know Kickstarter has like a tier system. Like, if
Yeah,
you-
my tier was digital copy only. It was like, I don't know, $25 or something. It's probably too much money, but I want to see the movie.
There you go. So I mean, you contribute a tier amount, and you get X amount. So I mean, that's also a thing. There's like, if you have a tier amount, then what do you give for each tier, and how do you go about fulfilling it, and how much does that cost?
If you give us, 75 cents a show, we'll give you the fourth period, our extra
yeah,
portion.
the face-off hockey show after dark fourth period.
After dark fourth period.
Hey, if you give a whole.
If you give us $1, we'll send you an email every year on your birthday, as long as you were signed to the message board.
Yes, and if you ever have any problems with the message board, you just have to pay an extra 10 cents per show, and we'll give you
tech support. But you have to get online. You have to log on to the message board to get tech support's email address. Oh, the old stuff we remember. And if you give us $1.50, I'll record your voicemail.
In whatever voice you want.
In whatever voice you want.
The dulcet tones of Scotty Waz in a bewildering number of voices.
Yeah, you might actually be able to sell that.
That might actually be decent, actually.
Here we go. Hey there, hon. Lyle can't come to the phone right now. He's down in the Rusty Scumper. He's going to get some Old Bay. He's going to get Cheerios on before he goes down the ocean for the long weekend. Leave a message after the tone. He'll get back to you whenever he can. Bye there, hon. See, that's worth $1.50 or maybe.
Right there,
worth it,
right there. That is gold.
That's the
I'll pay you $1.50 for that.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1.
Now do Mark's in the angry Jim voice.
Yes, please.
Hey! Phone's on the goddamn line. Listen, Mark can't come to the goddamn phone right now. That's because you can't climb that rope! Because you're probably out doing something. So if you listen, then maybe we'll get back to you when he wants to. Get those laps done. Ball game!
Ball game at the end.
That's perfect.
That's oh man.
Yeah, that's
I love the Angry Jim coach. I do. That's one of my favorites. That is definitely one of my favorites. Oh, the time you did that when you were reading the Hockey Erotica, Jesus, that was hilarious. I think we all did. I think we all shared a moment there. Yeah.
We all climaxed at the same
we all shared a moment, and then followed by that awkward feeling afterwards when you don't want to make eye contact. So.
And you don't want to. It's like one of those things where it's after the moment, and you're just like, you have to click off the browser shamefully. Like, what was I thinking?
Oh my!
Wow.
Whew.
Then you go and watch Most Valuable Primate, and it's just a full night. It's a full night. All right. So, crowd, you know what? Good for the victory press. Not a way I would have gone about, but what do I know?
Well, hey, I mean, best of luck to them with it is what I say. I mean,
if they got people contributing, more power to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I hope it works out for them. Listen, it's a good idea. It's worth trying. I mean, hey, maybe it'll pan out for them. In which case, it could become a template for others to emulate. But I'll give them, hey, points for thinking outside the box. That's for sure.
Although I will say this: if you're getting into blogging for money, that's probably not your best career route.
Yeah, let me tell you, here's a phrase you will never hear a blogger anywhere say anytime. Blogging for nothing and chicks for free. You're not going to happen.
No, blogging for nothing and the chicks will flee.
Yes, that's what you'll hear.
Perfect.
Yeah. Blogging, it's like I said, man, it's become a tougher game the longer it's gone on. As I said, okay, I managed to carve out my little modicum of fame, if you will, because through the show, of course. But I mean, but sure, by dint of my hard work, yes, blah blah blah. But I
Lyle
will also
was one of like 2 people that actually responded to our emails.
Hey, come on, Butchie Goss responded.
That's true too.
Come on, hey, give Bucci some love, man. I mean, I remember that.
He hasn't been on the show in 75 years.
It doesn't matter, man. At the time, I mean, geez,
it doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter. But I mean, I will also be the first to admit that I had some luck on my side because I jumped into the game back in the late '90s when everything was in its infancy. So I was lucky enough to be able to carve out, my little corner, if you will. And to build upon it. If I was to try it now, oh man, perhaps like I said, I might still be able to do this, but I would have taken longer. I mean, hell, it took me 8 years of doing it before I was able to be able to make a living from it. And even then, solely from my website alone, no. I mean, it's the freelance work. It's the combination of my site, my freelance work, and my military pension. Okay, those, I will not lie, it's those three that make it. Those are the twin pillars. I lose any one of those, and it's going to be tough. You know, I won't lie.
Yeah.
So there you go. 8 years to become an overnight success, and I still need to have my military pension to help me be able to make a comfortable living doing this. So there you go. And it's not a lot of money, kids. Okay, not a lot of money when you retire on a military pension. Let me just tell you that right now. It's not a lot of money.
Should be a hoot to go.
You get when you retire. When I did under the Canadian rules and at the rank level I was at, you get the equivalent of it works out to be 40% of what you earned over your best 6 years. That sounds impressive. It's not.
What fucking math involved? The hell with that?
Let me put it to you this way. After the deductions, because I also kept my medical, my military medical and dental coverage, it works out to be under $1,100 there, hon, a month. It's not that great.
No,
it does. It pays the mortgage, and keeps the lights on.
Well, that's something.
That's good.
Does that? Pays the mortgage, keeps the lights on, and I'm able to keep the water running in the house. So there you go. Oh wait, that's not supposed to be running like that. No, just a minute.
Better go catch it, Lyle. Waka waka.
Lame joke. but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it is a tougher gig. There's a lot more people you're competing for. There's a lot more eyeballs out there. But there's also a lot more bloggers, and you're trying to compete in a ever growing sea to try and carve out your audience. It's a lot tougher now. For people who jump into it now and are able to make a go of it, I mean, my hat's off to them, because it's a lot tougher than it was back in my day.
Why the hell do you think I got into minor league hockey? This NHL hockey pool is so full.
Oh boy, oh boy.
So
yeah, and like I said, and I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your arse, though it's fun, but you're among but seriously, you're among the few bloggers who regularly covered the minor leagues.
Yeah,
that I've seen. That I mean regularly.
Back in the day.
You know.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's the NHL and then everybody else. Because then the idea is, who's watching the ECHL? Well, I literally picked up quite a bit about the ECHL thanks to your work. So
and not for nothing. And I'm gonna jerk myself off here. And just,
I'm gonna feel really awkward.
Do you want us all to leave the room and give you?
That's fine. That's my
weird.
The special time area. It's funny that I have a modicum of, I guess, punk rock success on Twitter or whatever, and followers and people who are blogging me, like Lyle and Leahy and all those other types. But then in the past, I don't know, a couple months, I've seen like NBC starting to pick up on minor league hockey stories and Score and Puck Daddy. Who's going? Yeah, let's call back fans of the old days.
Yeah.
Flashback. Is that not plugged into the board?
No.
It makes it sound better, I think.
I have to take my case off in order to plug it into the board.
Oh, Johnny, you're so technical, brother.
But in the past couple of months, I've seen like a lot of minor league stories on like the big websites that aren't blog links. Like they're the main stories that people contribute. I'm just like, well, this is interesting. How the hell did this come about, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I mean, good on you jumping aboard the sin bin there, because that must be helping to provide a wider audience for your work.
Because like Joe and Matt and the crew at the Sinbin.net are just amazing with not only promotion but also just giving a nice audience growth, because it's spread out there, and then they're adding on and things like that. So it's a good crew over there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Minor League News, fuck Yahoo and NBC and the Score. Go to the Sinbin.net.
Well, yeah. No.
Or not. I'm not gonna. Trust me.
Your slogan, isn't it?
But at least that's an area. That's an area though that gives that I think gives you it's kind of like gives you more of a fighting chance.
Sure.
than it would at the NHL. And that's not to say that, because I mean I liked your NHL coverage as well, but I mean it is tough if you're trying to carve it out now. I mean in a sense maybe this with you guys, with what you guys are doing with the Sin Bin, that's kind of like what it would have been like 10 years ago before blogging really took off, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I mean, look, you got to look at it this way too. Is just that there's so many there's only so many times you can read an article based on the same subject.
Yeah.
And get sick of it, and just like all right, your opinion is the same as this guy, but it's a little bit different. It's just the flood of stories, and the reason why I stopped blogging in general for the NHL, or at least stopped the Strangest One of All blog, is that I just got sick of trying to come up with an original idea that'll get noticed rather than get lost in the sea.
It is tough. It is. I mean, and that's the thing that again, I mean, I do this for a living, but I mean, I'm trying to still, it's still jockeying, for eyeballs. It's still trying to, come up with ideas. I mean, yes, I'm known for my rumor coverage, and I know this. That's my bread and butter, and I don't complain. I love being that niche of it, but it's the other stuff that I'm trying to do as well, whether it's from my soapbox on my site to what I do with Bleacher Report, to any sort of guest stuff that I do, to my work with The Guardian, my hometown paper here. It's just trying to come up with different ideas with fresh angles that's, not going to be just, oh, yeah, you're the 100th guy to write about, Andrei Kopitar's contract status, or the whole Patrick Kane, sexual assault investigation, and this and that. When you're trying to come at it from a different angle, or to put a different spin on thing, or what have you. I mean, it is tough to do that when there's so many people who are writing the same thing. I'll come up with an idea, start to write about it, and then, before I go to publish it, I'll turn around and look, and there's 6 or 12 different people who've written about the exact same thing, and I'm like, well,
which
shit.
is the most infuriating thing in the world.
But I don't blame them. I mean, hell,
No,
they got there first. They got their fustus with the mostus, if you will. So I mean, good on them. But yeah, it is challenging when you're trying to come at it from that advantage. As I said, the one thing that gives me any kind of advantage at all is the rumor coverage I do. Thank God for that I carved that niche out years ago. Because and not to toot my own horn, but I do kind of take it as a compliment when I hear people, whether it's on my site or whatever, they go, oh, well, you're just a knockoff of Spectre. Oh, well, you're just doing what Spectre does, and it's just kind of like, well, okay, yeah, that kind of helps that I was among the first, so I've got that niche and it's fine. Yeah. But I still don't take that for granted, because I never assume that there's not going to be somebody who's going to come along and knock me off that perch someday by just doing it better, faster, what have you. So, yeah, you enjoy it while you can. But yeah, it's very, very hard. So what you're doing right now, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like you guys have got like this sort of unspoiled field, if you will, to kind of play in. You know what I mean? And yeah, it gives you guys an opportunity, first of all, to shed light on the other leagues, because everybody's so NHL saturated. It's kind of nice to go, hello, there's, over here.
There's other hockey out here, folks.
Yeah, and it's good hockey, and, you may want to check it out. I mean, it's hard as it is to believe for people who are NHL fans, but there are hockey fans who would much rather watch the ECHL, or would much rather watch the Quebec Major Junior. I know people here on PEI who are only interested in the Charlottetown Islanders and the Quebec Major Juniors. That's all they care about. For them, the NHL is they don't care, because it's the hockey's watered down, or it's too controlled, or the athletes are all overpaid, and whatever reason, they just don't like the NHL. But they love the Q, and that's all they follow. And that's a niche there that there's not very many people writing about them. Not in the blogosphere. Their hometown paper might cover it or whatever, or maybe the league. Maybe they might have a couple of writers on staff who might do just basic news, or maybe a little human interest story. But nobody's covering it the way that you guys are in the blogosphere. So I think that's a really an untapped market for you guys. And yeah, I mean, hopefully this will be something that over time will blossom into something really lucrative and worthwhile for you guys.
Let's hope so. I mean,
I got to add, by the way, Jockeying for Eyeballs. I like their second album better than their first album.
Yeah. Well, the
second
first
album was
album.
good,
Well, the first album. Listen, they're just trying to find their way. You know, they're just trying to find their way.
It seemed forced.
Yeah, it really did.
Jockeying for Eyeballs.
Jockeying for Eyeballs, man. Hey, yes, trademark. You can use that
there we go.
because Mark thought of it first. I may have come up with the phrase. Mark thought of naming the band,
Mark hammered
so
it
it's
home.
all his. Yes, it's all his.
By the by, fun
You guys
fact.
are just too fast for me, man. I'm telling you.
well,
Shame on you for taking advantage of a senior citizen. Get off my lawn!
All right, Johnny, that's going to be a guest track on your third album, Jockeying for Eyeballs.
Jogging for eyeballs. There you go.
Can I have a secret track?
Yeah.
I want to have a secret track where, like, I leave 2 minutes of blank space in between the.
That old way. That's the best.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
no. I don't want to just add a new track to it. That's bullshit. Because then you have, because then you can actually like click next and go to it. You got to go old school where you have the 2 minutes of blank space and then new song.
Oh well. Listen. When you drop your next album, I've got an idea for you.
I
Okay.
already dropped a couple, but
I know, but you still got a
broken.
third one. You got a third one under the Jockeying for Eyeballs.
That's when I become a punk rocker.
I gotta no. You gotta drop a rap track on it, and featuring
Wow, we already
featuring
have
Old Grumpy Bastard. And what you're doing is, and all it is for my contribution is just me saying, "Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!" And you gotta drop, you gotta do rhymes on top of that.
Well, Lyle, for Johnny's third album, which is called A Decade of Ineptitude,
Okay, yes, perfect.
there is a track that could be around that. We could put you as a featured player.
And
Yes.
A Decade of Ineptitude is actually going to come out 12 years after my first album.
Exactly. It's called Nine by My Bedside, Shotgun by the Doorway. So it could be a little gangster rap.
Could be. And as I said, then I just say, "Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!" Because you
Well,
can lay
that
down a
sounds
beat to that.
perfect for that.
You can lay down a
Shotgun
beat to
near
that,
the doorway,
and then
definitely.
just put rhymes on top, and there you go.
Gunshot sound effects over top of it. It's
Yeah,
going good.
and you just said just featuring Old Grumpy Bastard, which is in no way a reference to Old Dirty Bastard,
He's
because
dead.
he's dead, and he was black, and I'm white and grumpy. So there you
Shut
go.
up, big baby Jesus.
Yes, I'm white and grumpy. Yes, he is. He's white and grumpy. Yes, he is. He's white.
All right,
and
let's
grumpy.
not parody and Weird Al song already.
Hey, I'm allowed. If
I
Weird Al
guess.
can do it, I can take it to the extreme.
But that's meta if you're parodying a parody song. Anyway,
Exactly. So there you
Fun
go.
fact. Last time I uploaded to the Strangest One of All blog, it was July 2003. Or 2013.
I was going to
Would be
say,
amazing.
geez,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, July 2013 was the last entry.
You know
which
what
is
showed up in my time hop
all-
in August was the absurd goalie Monday that you wrote about, Mark.
oh, Mark, yeah.
That was fantastic.
And that's something I miss, man. I miss the Absurd Goalie Monday features, man. They
Yeah,
were
that was a hell of a lot of
fantastic.
research.
Yeah, but they
That was way above my research pay scale.
that was fantastic, but it was fantastic. I loved it. I looked forward every Monday to linking to that in my blog beat. Every Monday's blog beat was the Absurd Goalie Monday.
That was the last blog that I did before the indefinite hiatus. It was Frenchie LaRue, I think it was.
AKA Mark Batanzo.
Exactly.
That's true. I did go by that back
You
in
did
my,
go by that moniker, Frenchie LaRue.
back in my early 80s.
Yeah.
Risque film day.
There it is.
With your porno mustache, yes.
Boom. Then in 2012, August, wow, like almost 3 years ago, I started when the lockout was about to happen, I did the Better Know a Minor League thing.
Yes, and I did that. And I believe that sowed the seeds for your whole minor league, because I
started
also
the transition.
it was your Better Know. I always did the Better Know minor league. I was linked to that one and the Absurd Goalie Monday. So you can only stay on to okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So any hockey talk you guys want to talk to me about besides
We'll
this stuff?
deal with this later. Patrick Kane. So
Patrick Kane.
I want to know this. So there are rumors that 5 teams inquired about Patrick Kane. Long and short of it, let's make this question. Is this a legit thing, or is this something the Chicago Blackhawks leaked themselves?
Well, yeah, because the ubiquitous league source could be anybody. Listen. Mark Lazarus of the Chicago Sun-Times. He's been a reliable source in the past for all rumors Blackhawks. So I'm not going to sit down and say that he's spouting BS here, because I will definitely lend that there's credence to it. But where it originated from remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, as much as we could sit down and go, I can't understand why anybody would be interested in a player who is under investigation for sexual assault, but I think they're looking at also the fact that, okay, just, letting them know that, hey, if nothing comes of these charges, or if he gets charged but then is found not guilty, if you guys want to wash your hands of him, because, you do have this reputation of being a model franchise, and you did warn him in the past about his, escapades and all of that. If this is your last straw and you want to wash your hands of him, we'll be happy to take him off your hands. So even though he has a full no movement clause, I'm pretty sure he'll waive it if Rocky Wirtz and Stan Bowman look him in the eye and say, "You're done here." So yes, thank you. You're done here. Pick a destination. You're done here. Here are 5 destinations. Pick one of them, because you're done here. And so there. But for now, we don't even know if the Blackhawks are even thinking of going that route. Right now, I know that the Blackhawks and the league are catching a lot of flack because they're not doing. Apparently, some people think they're not doing more. They are doing what any sensible employer does. You have to wait until it is determined if charges are going to be filed. Okay, right now he's under investigation. No charge has been filed. That doesn't mean that he's innocent either, but it also doesn't mean that he's guilty. Right now, as much as I know that it's upsetting for people, and I understand, because this is a very upsetting thing, but there's still procedures. There's still the course of law. Okay, and it's going to take time, and everybody's just basically in a hold pattern right now. So don't expect Patrick Kane to be dealt anytime soon, but it's definitely out there that teams are going to be interested if the Blackhawks are willing to wash their hands of them, even if no charges are filed. There we go.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, this whole situation is, I'm not going to say unprecedented. It's just like, because it has happened before in other sports, and even sort of has happened in the NHL.
There's
2 off seasons with the sort of the Varlamov thing, but not really the Varlamov thing. With the Slavonov last year.
Sure.
And so, Varlamov, obviously not the same, not quite the same thing.
But there's this. But this actually, there's a rather long history going back 3 decades of NHL players who have been either arrested or they've been under investigation for sexual assault or rape. It's just that in many of the cases, in many of the cases, charges were dropped. Now, we don't know if they were guilty, if they were innocent, and I know that in because of rape culture, that there's a lot of blame the victim, and a lot of times victims won't bother going through with charges because just either the pressure that they're being felt or the shame they feel or whatever. A number of factors go into it. But, I know that this is just something that's really come up in the last couple of years because, as you said, Mark, with Voinov and Varlamov and now Kane, it's just something that's really in the recent memory. But there have been incidents stretching back about 30 years, that involve players like Dino Ciccarelli, with Scott Stevens, and on and on. Now, again, they were never charged with anything. We don't know if anything came of it. I'm not sitting there and I'm not accusing these guys of rape or sexual assault, but just saying that they were under investigation for various things over the years that this had happened to a number of different players, and these are some of the notables. It's a lot more. I think society's changed as well. There's definitely a lot more awareness regarding rape and sexual assault, and especially this whole thing, as they say, with rape culture, about the whole thing of blame the victim and how women get pressured or bullied and things like that. I'm going to be honest, I hate this situation. I hate it. I hate that this has happened. I hate that I have to write about it. But listen, I can't wrap myself in a little cozy cocoon and pretend that it hasn't. At the end of the day, for Patrick Kane and for the woman involved, their lives have just been changed forever. And regardless of the outcome, no good is going to really, at the end of the day, there's not going to be any real closure for either person at the end of it. I mean, if no charges are filed against Patrick Kane, that stigma is still going to hang over him now for probably forever. Mm-hmm. Because especially in this day and age of social media. Back 20 years ago, if this was 20 years ago, this would go away. You know what I mean? If he was investigated and if no charges were filed, it would go away. It might be vaguely remembered by people, but people would move on. But in social media now, it won't be forgotten. So it could very well change his future in the NHL or with the Chicago Blackhawks. For the woman involved, I mean, listen, even if, like I said, let's say that this winds up going all the way and Patrick Kane ends up going to prison for sexual assault or for rape. She does get her measure of justice, but she'll never get rid of that night. That whole incident will be with her forever. She gets justice, but she's still going to have to cope with this for the rest of her life, with the emotion and everything involved in it. And I'm not doing this justice at all, I know, by saying this, but I'm just trying to just state that this is not going to be. There's not going to be any real closure out of this, and it's a very, very ugly thing. And I don't know if Patrick Kane is guilty or innocent. I don't know if the woman is involved, if she's making a false statement or telling the truth. We don't know. I'm not playing any blame the victim here with all of this. It's just that this brings up a very ugly real life truth that we sometimes have to deal with. And yeah, I hate it, but it's there. And this is something that we as NHL fans have to deal with, and the league and the team are going to have to deal with. And there's going to be a lot of fallout for this, regardless of which way it goes.
Indeed. Mark, you got any last parting words? Because I know you have to scoot here in a bit.
Yeah, I didn't mean to rattle on there, Mark.
All right, so Mark, after all the gloom and doom that Lyle said, you got any things to perk us back up to before you leave?
Yeah. I mean, of all the things that we were asking for news, like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, we said we had nothing to talk about. Mm-hmm. This isn't what we wanted to talk about.
No.
We wanted somebody holding out so we could bet on couch.
Yes.
We wanted fun things to talk about. This isn't fun. So whatever happens, NHL will go on, life will go on, but I don't know, it's just one of those things that it's certainly not fun to talk about. So,
no,
anyway.
in a couple of weeks' time, training camps will start, and that'll give us at least something else to talk about. Though this will obviously be there, but
yeah, because he'll probably be in camp, so that's going to be another layer of all of this. So
we'll see about that.
Hard to say.
Well, anyway, to answer your question, Scotty, I don't really have anything else going on. Training camps next week. Or 2 weeks from now.
The rookie camps will start next weekend. Not this weekend coming, next weekend. But yes, the actual camps start in 2 weeks' time.
There we go.
When most camps start.
Yeah, 17th will be for most of them. The rookie camps, most of them start September 11th, September 12th, September 13th. So they start next weekend, or the rookie camps. And then a few days after that, the full camps start between the 15th and 17th, I believe, Scotty.
Booyah! Perfect.
Yep.
All right, bye, Mark.
Well, yep. I'm gonna give a shout out to Lyle for being the OG rumor mill. Shout out to Lyle.
My pleasure.
Original gangsta rumor mill.
Thank you, dude.
Other than that, we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week.
Right.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye, sweetie. There he goes, Mark with the C. You can find him nowhere because he doesn't do blogging or Twitter or anything.
But you can always find him here, where he'll always have a home.
I'm with Sean. Hashtag Team Fuck Mark.
Oh my God.
Anyway, all right. Did you read that Curtis Glencross story, Lau? About his thing about not about thinking that the market would be hotter for him and that he shouldn't have taken a hometown discount and all this garbage that he was spewing, even though he doesn't realize he's so I guess delusional. He thinks he should have a lot more offers, even though he's hot garbage. Flaming
Well,
hot
he should have known that. I mean, I said it even before the market started when I was assessing, the top available free agents, the top 25 leading into this year. That his stats have been down the last couple of years, partially due to injuries, but he didn't do himself any favors with his very poor performance with the Capitals. So I don't know why he's surprised. I think maybe he better have a good heart-to-heart with his agent, because his agent, I think, has been blowing some smoke his way. Because, boy, howdy, I'm not surprised he's still unsigned.
No, I'm not either. Especially for God knows how much money he wants. He probably wants upwards of $4 million.
Well, and to sit down and say, well, I shouldn't have took a hometown discount to stay in Calgary. Well, dude, I mean, this is the nature of the business. And the guy that you took the hometown discount with is no longer the general manager, okay? Right. And you've been in this league long enough to know this is a business and things are going to change. The ground will shift under your feet if you're not careful. Now, if he had kept his stats up, I have no doubt that the Flames would have re-signed him. But let's face it, I mean, he was being outplayed by the younger and more affordable players on the Flames roster. So, now the Flames gave him the option. They did make an offer to resign him, but it was going to be, of course, less than what he thought was market value. But, I don't know if that's his agent sitting there and telling him, no, screw that, you can get a better deal, blah blah blah. Here, I mean, on the free agent market, don't listen to the market. I'll find you something. There'll be good deals out there. Or if he honestly believed it himself, I don't know, or maybe a combination of the two. But boy, oh boy, did he ever misjudge the market this year, and for his own value. I mean, damn, man. I mean, when you get traded and your numbers just fall off the face of the earth and you're almost non-existent in the playoffs. In fact, you're a healthy scratch for several games. And come on, man, you didn't do your value any good at all. And with the the salary cap only going up by a couple of mil, it wasn't a very deep market, and it was going to be a very, very quick game of musical chairs. And now he's sitting there, and he's probably going to have to take a professional tryout contract now. I think that's where he's at.
Well, hell, guess what? He can just go to St. Louis. They're giving him out like candy.
Holy jeez, yeah. I mean, Scotty Upshaw. Your name has to be Scott, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Scotty Upshaw,
Scott Gomez.
Scotty was. Hey, come on.
Was.
If your name is Scotty.
Yeah, I got higher standards than St. Louis. Ooh, we got a golden arch. Go the hell. Anyway, so yeah, St. Louis, a lot of camp invitees. How many of these camp invitees are actually going to get a good chance to make the team?
Well, let me just give me a second here, very, very quickly. Let me just check and see. Well, Scotty Gomez, I think's got a good chance. Honestly, I think he's got a good chance.
I think he revitalized himself last year a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, geez, thanks a lot. Come on, general manager, you're supposed to have tryout contracts.
Well, general manager.
Tryout contracts are supposed to have here we go. I just typed it in wrong. Anyway, so your list includes, very quickly, Sergei Gonchar, Scotty Upshaw, Matt Kirkner, Peter Budaj, Tom Sestito, Devin Setaguchi, David Leggio, I think it's Leggio, as in let go my Leggio, Uriah Hayes, I like that name, Uriah Hayes. Sounds like Uriah Heep, like it. Anyway, Eric Bolton and Scott Gomez are your notable names. And out of those, I think Gomez and Devin Setaguchi go on a tryout with your Toronto Maple Leafs. I think he's got a good chance there, especially since he revealed that he underwent treatment for alcohol abuse, which nobody knew. They even had a problem, or that he went into the program. That one went very much under the radar, but good for him. I mean, and I'm glad that it didn't get a lot of media hype when it did. But he says he's had treatment. He's in much better shape, and he's going to a team that with the Maple Leafs, I think he's going to have a good shot since they're in the midst of rebuilding. So they're willing to roll the dice on him. So I think he'll stick.
There you go. Works
Mhm.
out perfectly then.
And yeah,
Cam Ward doing some things.
Cam Ward.
Saying, hey, I'm going to put my team before my contract because I know I can't get a contract if I don't do shit this year. He didn't say it in that many words, but let's be honest, we all knew what he was saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, he
So-
did have a good. I thought he had a good bounce back performance last season. His numbers last season were more the result of the crappy team that was in front of him than his performance. I think if he carries on that performance this season, it'll definitely help boost his chances of getting a contract elsewhere. He says that he doesn't want to play anywhere else but Carolina. I think he also understands he's probably going to have to take a pay cut if he does. But hey, if he plays well, it wouldn't surprise me if he actually wind up staying. But I'll tell you right now, if Eddie Lack actually turns out to be the bomb that everybody seems to think he is, especially those spurned fans in Vancouver. Well, he didn't spurn them, but regardless. But if he turns out to be the hot goalie that a lot of broken-hearted Vancouver Canucks fans seem to think he is, then maybe Cam Ward is going to end up moving on next summer.
Who knows? Should be fun. We'll get to the Quebec Corps stuff next week.
Yeah.
That's a mess. Bryce Salvador retiring after 14 seasons.
Not a surprise there. I mean, with the back injury and that, yeah. I think his last best season was 2011, 2012, especially in the playoffs. That year. After that, he was never the same, though, and that was just a result of injuries. And age, I mean, God, he's, 39, I think? He's up there in age.
Which is odd, considering the fact that he's played 14 seasons. You would think he might
yeah. But he did come in. He did come into the league sort of late, if you will, in his mid-20s. But good on him for getting 14 good seasons out of it and becoming a team captain to boot. So good on him.
Yeah, exactly. It's not too shabby for a guy.
Not too shabby.
Let's see, let's go to the hockey reference. Yeah, he's 76, so he's 39.
Mm-hmm.
Came in the league in
play for
St. Louis.
Thought he started with the Blues, yeah.
And New Jersey.
Oh, only 2 teams. Okay.
Only
I thought
2
there was
teams.
I thought there was a third one in there.
I was thinking one too. I'm just like, wait a minute.
I knew he started with the Blues and obviously finished with the Devils, but I don't know why I thought that he had a stint with the Panthers. Then it's just because everybody seems to have a stint with the Panthers.
Yeah, he does. He really do.
Yeah, it's just like, and he played for here and he played for here. And he had a stint with the Panthers towards the end of his career.
4-year WHL guy with Lethbridge.
Mm-hmm.
Then spent 3 years in Worcester with the Ice Cats, 1 year with the Missouri River Otters before breaking into the NHL, or before getting a full-time. Well, no, because actually he spent 3 years with Worcester, played for the Blues, and then got sent down for a couple games at the end of 03-04, and then spent a couple games in Missouri with the River Otters. Away we go. And that's how things go out. The Islanders lost a big thing in their franchise with the Ice Girls not being brought over to Brooklyn, which brought a tear to my eye because, man, a lot of people losing jobs.
Yeah. But,
and Al Arbor passed away too.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, there with Arbor, I mean, he was the man was a damn legend. First as a player, won 4 Stanley Cups as a player, was the last player to play with glasses. You wouldn't hit a player with glasses, would you? Evidently, yeah, they would. But you know what? He was a tough SOB. He was a tough guy when he played, but it was his genius as a coach. What he did with the Islanders during their dynasty years, and I was fortunate enough to be around to see it. And the thing is, with the Islanders, I mean, just very quickly, I mean, they followed up their dynasty following the Montreal Canadiens of the late 70s. And that Montreal Canadiens team, they put something like 15 people in the Hall of Fame, players, coaches, general managers. Yeah, the Islanders were really built around a core of about 4 or 5 guys. It was Denny Potvin, Billy Smith, Trottier, Bossy, and Clark Gillies. They're big, and Butch Goring, who never gets enough recognition. He was really the unsung sixth on that core. But the rest of it, they had a lot of complementary players. They didn't have the depth that those Canadiens teams had, and they didn't dominate regular seasons like those Canadiens teams did. But what Arbor was able to do as a genius is when they hit the playoffs, they just hit. They were kind of like the LA Kings in a way. Better than the Kings in the regular season, they didn't just squeak into the playoffs. They were always like among the top teams. But it was like they just seemed to hit an extra gear once the playoffs started, and they were so dominant And I mean, hey, they 19 straight playoff series they won. That's a record that will probably never be broken. And 5 straight Stanley Cup final appearances, 4 Stanley Cups in a row, the last true dynasty if you count consecutive championships. And a lot of that has to do with how Al Arbour coached that team. He really was a legend and a big part of the Islanders' history. Lived a full life. Sad that he passed, but he will definitely never be forgotten. Definitely one of the all-time coaching greats.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself because I wasn't around during that era. Blah, 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 looking up and down. Anything else to talk about? Dan Carcillo opening a foundation to help NHLers after hockey.
That's very worthwhile. That's very
absolutely.
worthwhile. There's a very interesting piece, by the way, Stephen Wino, who used to write for the Washington Times, kids, way back when. Now writes for the Canadian Press. He just there's a piece that he wrote that I put up on my Twitter feed, actually, if you care to read it, and it's about the difficulty that NHL players, despite all their millions, I know they're floating on money for the rest of their life. Yeah, but a lot of them have difficulties adjusting to life outside of hockey. So very interesting piece there, which mentions Carcillo's foundation, the Chapter 5 foundation he's trying to stand up, and I commend Carcillo for that. He's also working with the NHLPA's breakaway program as well, which is also a program to help players transition to the real world. But yeah, good on Carcillo for trying to stand up this foundation he's trying to do, and I wish him the best of success with it because I think it's something that's definitely worthwhile.
Quite long overdue, too, I believe. So there's that. No Ice Girls. I'm still shook over that.
I know.
So we'll talk about Bigcore next week, and then we'll figure out some other things. Hey, they're arriving to camp. I'm getting stuff in my Twitter feed from the team sites with players already doing pre-camp things. They're already skating and practicing. I'm like,
yep.
It's a thing.
It is coming. Now. It's September. The calendar has flipped. It's the smell of hockey's in the air. Or what is that smell?
It is. You know what? Fall could be the best smell.
Yeah.
Fall could be the best smell out there. You walk outside. It's a nice brisk. It's not that cold.
The air is crisp. Warm. It's crisp. Yeah.
Crisp. If you're in Alberta, if you already had your first snowfall of the year. That's something.
Yeah. Wow.
That
was that,
goddamn. We didn't get anything laying on the ground.
Lake Louise
here.
Got it. Whoa.
Holy fucking
man! And in August.
It's a goddamn. Like my birth mom's coming up here in October. She's like, "What the hell is it going to be like in October?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Roll the dice.
Exactly.
Roll the dice, man.
You're coming. We'll make a deal. We'll see. You're
coming to Alberta in the fall, man. Anything can happen, and usually does.
Guess what? They say it's not going to snow that much this year, and if it does, it's going to be later. But I can't trust those goddamn farmers. Can you? Exactly. No one can.
Exactly. Well, the wheat was only this high this year, which means it could snow or perhaps not. Depends on the color of the moss on the north side of the barn.
Exactly. Just yell at them. They start just rocking back and forth, whittling.
Yeah, for no reason. Like you're not in a dude. You're not in a chair. Whoa! I remember in the Depression we didn't have chairs, dude. You were only 25.
This is a $400,000 townhome. You're not in a goddamn farm. Shih Tzu.
Yeah, you're in Okotoks, for God's sake.
Exactly. You understand the boom that's happening around you in this metropolis?
Good Lord.
Metropolis, that's where Superman's from.
Scotty, I'm so old, I remember when Okotoks actually still wasn't a part of Calgary.
Yeah, no. Well,
I remember you actually could drive and there was a whole lot of nothing, and then you get to
Oh, no,
Okotoks.
there still is. It's Black Diamond. Black Diamond is nothing. Wow. I drove through there for 3 days. Technically, Okotoks not part of Calgary because we do have Black Diamond. It's as much as not part of Calgary as Airdrie's not part of Calgary.
Airdrie's not bullshit. Airdrie and Okotoks have always been a part of Calgary. Knock it
absolutely.
off.
No, absolutely.
No, we're not. We're our own unique. The hell you are. Yeah.
But Calgary is the only city I know that does it back asswards, where they expand the city outward rather than close it in and then have the suburbs. But what do I know? I'm not a city planner.
It's because of all that flat land. That's why. It's because of all that flat land. I still remember when we were driving in from the foothills in 2001. we were doing our cross country jaunt, and we hadn't been with the last time we saw Calgary had been 4 years before, and the last time we saw that when you come in on the foothills, there was nothing, just the hills. It used to be you'd come over that hill, and oh boom, here's the city, because there was COP was on the right when you came down the hill, and oh yes, here's the city. And so we're driving along, and all of a sudden it was just like, holy shit, because you could see how it snaked over the hill and was coming towards us. They were still building the houses as we were coming toward them. It was unbelievable. I don't even want to know what it looks like now.
Oh, dude, it's woof.
Ugh.
Woof.
Lyle just said he doesn't want to know.
Okay, well, fine. I'm done.
The trails were a nightmare when I was there in 2004 for my brother's wedding. The city expanded so much, it drove my brother and his wife to Stettler.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, she's from Stettler and her family's
Okay,
that's
well,
why they did. But it just sounded like
it sounded better. It sounded more dramatic that way. You're right.
Stettler.
Oh my God! OMG! And we are. But yeah.
Johnny, now you're kind of getting an idea of what it's like when you guys are talking Maryland stories, and I'm sitting there going, "Yep."
I know all about Stettler.
Do you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Jesus, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Boom, boom! That's what I get. That's what I get.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's trust me. Like the scary, like when I drove down to see Jen, that like driving through Saskatchewan could be like the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Cause once you get to Moose Jaw and you have to go down through like freaking Kindersley and all this other.
Oh yeah.
I drove past the corner gas set. It was amazing. And you're driving through there, and it's just like there's nothing, and it's just 2-lane highway, and there's no divider, and if you fall asleep, you might die.
That part really is where that joke comes in about, my dog ran away. I watched him run away for a week. Yeah, my dog ran away from home. I watched him run away for a week.
Like, driving back home from Montana was no better. It was even quieter.
Oh, dude, that picture you took at the rest stop was one of the most frightening. I told you, it was like something out of a Coen Brothers horror movie. It was like,
God, it was the worst.
And
I found the rest stop that I took it at. And it could be the scariest goddamn. Like Google Earth doesn't even have like a Google Earth camera. This is a satellite feed that they had to manipulate, kind of thing.
Oh man, that
worst.
picture you took, I was sitting there, it's like that is the most frighteningly desolate picture I have ever seen. I was like,
and it was like that for fucking miles.
You know, you expected. You know what? It was like. It was like one of those scenes where you're like, okay, you look at that, like that shot that you took, and it'd be like if you turned away for a second and turn around, look back, and in the distance you saw somebody standing in the corner of the field.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of creepy vibe you would get. Or if you're a Hitchcock fan like me, where you see the little biplane off in the distance, and then it starts to turn towards you. Yeah. So. I'm definitely bringing that old school MF.
Yeah. There it is. There goes Lyle, kicking it old school.
Kicking it old school.
Jesus
but
Christ.
yeah, that was, man.
Dude, it was like trying to deal with it was garbage. Like, well, I don't need this.
Nobody can live that long inside their own head.
No, exactly. Especially when you're the only one there and you've only seen like 3 cars, the entire time, and you're just like, well, this is goddamn, this is ridiculous. I don't need this in my life. I already have enough mental problems. I don't need more.
I mean, I like living in the country where there's peace and quiet, but I like knowing that there's a house just down the road that I can see, like not with binoculars, but I can see that house.
Like if I break down, I'm not gonna die. Like
yeah, it's not like they're gonna find my skeleton 10 miles up the road laying there. Yeah,
and that's all technically like what I was driving through was technically still all Indian Reserve too. So I'm just like, well, this is.
Well, that part's all right, but
that's fine. But there was no one to be found.
I know that's the scary part, man.
Yeah, it's just like what's happening, guys? What's going on? Like, I don't know.
That's a place. That's a place you're driving. You see a hitchhiker, and you're having that inner debate in yourself: is this a person who is in need and really needs a ride, or is this that now your mind starts working? Is that somebody who's going to butcher me in a million different ways and take my car and leave me laying on the side of the road?
See, Lyle, we're thinking the two different
bloody
things.
Rags.
I would say, is this actually a real hitchhiker, or am I imagining him?
Wow, that's even deeper than what I just suggested, man.
Because there are things that I saw out there that I don't think actually happened, Lyle.
This would be something like out of an Ingmar Bergman film, where you're playing chess with death.
exactly. It could be the weirdest thing. It's
yeah.
like,
Freaky.
ugh,
Freaky.
my
What's your
God
thoughts
almighty.
on that, Johnny? When you saw that picture there,
Johnny,
Mark,
what is the
What would-
creepiest
or-
rest stop you've ever been to?
I don't remember that picture.
Oh man, Scotty, you got to
Um,
show him that picture someday, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I can bring it up.
I'm not. If it was on like Twitter or Facebook, I haven't been on a ton recently.
Yeah, we had that up a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
and
this was back in.
it was
May.
on your Facebook, and I saw that. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what the creepiest rest stop I've ever been to. I'm normally asleep when I get there,
it's true.
so like it takes me a little while to wake up, which makes it a little creepy in itself.
Yeah, that's almost like that's almost
You know, unless I'm
that's
driving.
almost a little narcoleptic there. Scott, you
a
know,
little narcoleptic.
little
Oh
narcoleptic.
no,
there.
I fell asleep like mid conversation with Scotty when we were driving to drafts.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be the weird. It's the fucking oddest thing, Lyle. Like you're talking
But
to
mind you, it makes but Johnny, it does make the trip pass quickly.
Oh yeah,
For
yeah.
him.
For you, for
All
yeah,
of a
for
sudden
you.
I woke
yeah.
up and we were in Toronto.
It was just
Here we
like,
go.
oh,
Here's
awesome.
the,
See, now look at that.
that's the rest stop. Just middle of nowhere.
Looks beautiful.
Oh yeah,
panoramic,
and it's
panoramic.
it's the leafless trees that just give it that eerie
And
extra
this was
quality
in
of
mid.
eeriness.
This was in mid-May, Lyle. This
Yeah.
should be in full bloom.
Yeah, yeah. Like that just gives it
Of
that
course,
extra
driving
measure
backward-
of creepy. That tree to the right, that looks like a hanging tree.
Lyle, when I hit, of course, when I hit Lethbridge, it was mid-May, and it was also snowing when I was driving home. So we can't. Let's not
Yeah.
say one thing or another. But
Yeah. Got to tell you though, best rest stops I've been to, the ones in Quebec, man.
really,
Well, not only are the restrooms nice, big, and clean, but they also have things there. They sell like food as well at every rest stop and little picnic
That's not bad.
tables and stuff. Like it's pretty
It's
cool,
like
man.
Jersey.
Yeah,
That's-
it's pretty
it's like
cool,
a
man.
turnpike.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have
I
that.
I don't like driving the highways in Quebec because sometimes they can be a bit insane. But when they drive, but I love their rest stops. They do, and not
Weird
for any weird sexual reasons.
I don't
and
know,
do my
Lyle.
thing. So.
I don't know. It sounded
Glory
really weird.
holes did not enter into the equation, let me tell you. But they were the nicest you ever saw. So there you go.
Interesting. Okay. Well. All right. We'll let that sit.
Hey, you wanted to go there. I took it to the
I didn't say a
inevitable
goddamn
conclusion.
thing. I was
Oh,
just-
but you insinuated.
I was insinuating
You
something.
insinuated.
I was saying a trucker.
You
was taking advantage of your money.
insinuated. I saw the look. People
I'll
on the
say-
podcast, you probably will probably hear that look.
Well, God willing, they will.
Johnny's just like, I'm not getting in the middle of this.
Yeah,
No.
it's like, I don't need this.
No,
I don't need
no
this. at all.
talks about wide stances.
That's true.
No foot nudges in the stalls. No.
Nope. Psst. Psst.
Dude, are you trying to get my attention? Did you spring a leak?
Aha! I found it.
What?
I found the Google Earth of my of the rest stop. All right. This is in Valhalla.
Oh my God.
Well,
Are you
of course
serious?
it is.
Yep. It's in Vandala, aka
Oh.
Glasgow. And here you go.
Oh my lord.
Let's zoom out a little more. Let's zoom out a little more. Let's zoom out a little more.
Why aren't there any buildings, Scotty? Where
Why aren't there any houses?
where's civilization?
Right here, Spring Creek. Right over here.
Oh my god.
And it's just that one road.
Yeah.
Yep, it's Route 2.
Oh, look at that.
It's the route to where?
Wow, there's still no any marker of any other thing except for Cornwell Ranch.
Cornwall Red. He's on the road to nowhere.
And there's Vandala right over there.
Vandalia. Come on inside.
That's,
St. Marie.
That's where I was at, Lyle.
Wow. Dude.
That's. How do you think that was? And that was like that was a stretch of 50 miles a pop. Here it is zoomed in. Here it is zoomed in about where everything is at, and look at all this green space in the middle of just more green space. Yeah.
Hey, look,
That
it's
seems
hey,
like a random place to put a building, though. It's like, hey, how about we put like 6 parking spots here and put like a little outhouse?
It's to give you hope. It's
Yes.
more than just a place for a rest stop. It's to give you hope. Look, some fragment of civilization.
All right, now. All right, I need everybody to be quiet for about
Okay.
10 seconds. All right. That was the sound that I heard when I got out of the car until I went to the bathroom and got back into my car. It was the eeriest, most awkward thing I have ever dealt with in my life, and I was married for a couple years.
You want to know what's eerie?
Can you look
That
at
picture of that
do you
car?
get a
That's
street
your
view
car.
of that?
Yes, I will. Here we go. We're getting a street view. Topography.
There you go.
Here we go. Here's a street view. This is of November 2007.
It looks the
Oh
same.
my God! The last time Google passed through there was 8 years ago.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, let's be honest, Lyle. It hasn't changed.
Hey! They changed the cakes in the urinal cakes there, my friend.
Let's not be so sure of that.
Oh man.
This is what I was looking out to.
Oh man.
Like, I was literally at my car looking out to this.
You know, some people, wax poetic about the great open plains or anything like that. I got to tell you, the times I have driven across the plains by myself have scared the shit out of me. I like civilization. I like country, but I like country with trees and hills and houses and barns and that kind of country, not desolate, nothing, flat, forever.
I like plains during the day when you can see things. Not at dusk when you think The Walking Dead's going to happen.
That's when your imagination goes into overdrive.
When the hills have eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, they don't even have hills, but it doesn't matter. The fields have eyes, for God's sake. The tree line, what little of it there is, have eyes.
This is what I looked out. This is exactly what I looked out on as I was getting back into my car, about to make another. Because this is in the middle of fucking Montana. Like, this is not. I'm like midway through Montana, and it was still probably about 300 miles to Shelby, Montana, and that was another 50 miles away from the border. So another like 400 miles until, even almost 500 miles until I got home. And I was looking at that. And I was looking at that until dusk, driving all the way through.
I tell you, God love
All
people.
those fields
God
are
love
there.
people who've made their lives of living on the Great Plains. My hat's off to you, because I couldn't do it. I could not do it. No, I couldn't. That's too much empty space for me. I like my space, but even I have my limits.
Lyle, I literally ran back to my car because I was getting agoraphobic with how quiet and how open it was. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here and now.
Man,
I almost didn't go to the bathroom because there's like a good 20 feet from my car. I'm like, I'm just going to piss on the side of my car. The hell with it. I don't even need this anymore.
Who the hell would see it? It wouldn't matter. Just pull over the side of the road and wail away, man.
Of course, knowing my luck, the state cops would come by and say, "Boy, what you doing pissing here?"
That's what I did both times. First 2 times I drove across Saskatchewan, when I drove across Canada, it was like, I got to piss, geez, I'm going to wait for a rest stop, and then it hit me. Like, why am I worried about finding a rest stop? There's nobody around here, so pull off to the side of the road and wail away. Nobody's going to see you. Then no cars are coming, and none did.
I will say this, Medicine Hat's a nice little place as I was driving.
It is, though.
Nice
Medicine Hat's very
and they
nice.
built up a lot. Moose Jaw wasn't that bad. Swift Current wasn't that bad, but those are the
Speedy Creek, stop
bigger
there.
cities, as it were.
Yeah. Well, nice hotel, though. Very, very friendly people in Swift Current.
Yeah.
I liked there. Last time when I drove through there with the family, a friggin' huge thunderstorm and tornadoes followed us the whole way.
There you go.
They passed by us,
Storm
thankfully,
chasing.
but it followed. Yeah, storm chasing us in reverse. And my wife wanted to see the tornadoes. It's like, no, thank you.
No,
I've experienced that. No, I'm good.
Not
Yeah, I've seen the devastation of tornadoes firsthand. No, thank you. No. So I'm on board
Is
on
that a minor
tornado.
league baseball team?
The tornadoes, yes. I saw the devastation they could do, my friend. I tell ya. Double A ball.
Yeah, they were terrible.
They were awful.
They were awful. It was like watching a high school team.
Great. All right, Lyle. We've done almost 2 hours of a show for God knows what reason.
And we spent half of it talking about your adventures at that rest stop.
Oh,
man.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Wow.
I
We'll
knew where-
we'll be talking about this when we're doing the Big Stand Invitational in Buffalo next year.
Whew, boy, howdy.
Lyle, are you gonna buy yourself a pair of bowling shoes, or do you already have a pair of bowling shoes?
I don't. I'm gonna have to rent. I don't bowl enough here. We don't have good enough. Like we have the little 10-pin or the little 5-pin.
I guess
bowling
it'll
pins.
be a lot different because we're only bowling at one alley. Last year, or was it last summer or 2 summers ago?
2 summers ago. The
2
one that I
summers ago, when we had the Big Stand Invitational, we bowled at 9 alleys, and it is actually more cost effective to buy your own.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But with the one lane that we're probably going, it's probably the best that you just rent.
Just
fine.
rent.
Yeah.
But that'll be fine.
I'm bringing mine with me.
You go ahead. I'm looking forward to watching you styling and profiling.
I might have to bring my own balls.
Hey now.
Hey, it's
no, it's fun. No,
there will be a black light, so you might as well shave them off.
It's fine. It's okay. Jen's gonna be there. She'll take care of my balls.
Okay, that's good.
Wow, we always go out on the high notes. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks you, bud, and we'll talk to you, next week.
Talk to you next week, guys. Have a good one.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, there he goes. Robertson, SpectreHockey.net, HockeyNews.com, PIR Guardian, Island Guardian, and maybe Bleacher Report. I don't know. But all right, Johnny, you got any shouts?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Rest Stops. I feel like they got a bad rap over the past half an hour. So I would like to clear the air some and shout out some good rest stops. Speaking of that, I'd like to give a shout out to the Sopranos theme song. Also, while I'm thinking about New Jersey. Yeah, that's what I got. That's
nice.
I'm good. I'm all shouted out.
Shout it out loud. Anyway, all right, cool. Shout out to I didn't go out this week, so I can't shout out Mr. Mike's Steakhouse in Airdrie, but you can go there. I'll be there this Friday doing God knows what. We'll see. I don't know. I got a dentist appointment tomorrow, first time in 11 years, so God only knows what that's going to bring.
Oh, Jesus. I have to do that again, too, at some point.
Yeah, I haven't had one since I moved to Calgary, so...
I stopped going to the dentist when they decided that they wanted to fill my my wisdom teeth instead of taking them out of my mouth.
Oh, woof. Yeah, no. Good call on that.
So I was like, I'll see you.
Yep, see you later. Yeah, so I've had a little bit of problem with my teeth, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sure they're just going to yell at me and just kill my insurance, but whatever. I couldn't care less. Shout out to the people at the Sinbin.net. I've been writing over there. Go check writing out. Writing is good. And that's it. That's all. I got nothing else. Yeah. We'll end it on a high note, as we usually do. For Johnny P and the early leaving Mark with the C, I'm Scotty Waz. Take care of yourself and someone else. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, which is also our Tumblr. Also, check us out on Facebook, FOHS Radio, and Twitter, Face Off HCKY Show. So until next week, when we'll say we'll do an hour and a half and we go 70 hours. Until then, peace.